Solve 2 times the cosine of 2 pi over 3 plus sine x divided by the tangent of 3 pi over 4 cosine pi over 7 minus sine pi over 3 equals 0. For x on the interval 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 2 pi. Big looking equation, but in fact the denominator goes away. Here's why. What is the tangent of 3 pi over 4? Well, the angle 3 pi over 4 is right here, and you know at that point the tangent is negative. So this is a negative number. In fact, it happens to be negative 1. The cosine pi over 7. Well, if the angle pi over 6 is right here, the angle pi over 7 is right here, and that has a positive cosine. So this is negative 1 times a positive number. So this right here is a negative number. And then we're subtracting off the sine of pi over 3. Well, pi over 3 is right here. The sine is a positive number, so we're taking a negative minus a positive. This whole thing is going to be negative. We don't need to worry about dividing by 0. So the fact of the matter is we only want where the numerator is equal to 0, and let's write that down. 2 times the cosine of 2 pi over 3 plus the sine of x is equal to 0. Take a look at 2 pi over 3. That's one of the angles that we know about. 2 pi over 3 is right here. So let's mark that angle, 120 degrees. What is the cosine of 2 pi divided by 3? The cosine is the first component. That is negative 1/2. So we have 2 multiplied by negative 1/2 plus the sine of x is equal to 0. 2 times negative 1/2 is negative 1. The negative 1 can be taken over to the other side of the equation by adding 1 to both sides of the equation. When you add 1 to the left-hand side of the equation, you get sine of x. When you add 1 to the right-hand side of the equation, you get 1. Now, we have reduced the problem to saying when is the sine of x equal to 1 for any x value between 0 and 2 pi. Well, think about it. The sine starts out at 0. It climbs up to 1 at just this one spot right here. And then the whole rest of the way, it is going to be less than 1. So this is our only solution right here. The coordinates of this point right here are 0, 1. And of course, that second component is where the sine of x is equal to 1. So you can report this solution as either x equals 90 degrees, if you want to do it in degrees, or you can write this as x is equal to pi over 2 if you'd like to report the value of x in radians.